All right. Thank you, everybody, for being on here. My name is Roger Pascal. I'm the CEO of Real Impact Training. For those of you that don't know who we are, Real Impact, we improve the quality of people's lives through real estate investing. We have several locations throughout Texas and Oklahoma. Real Impact provides local real estate investors with networking and educational meetings. Our locations are franchises owned and operated by seasoned investors who we call Impact Master Trainers, or you'll hear the phrase IMTs as we call them as we refer to them. In addition to our monthly meetings and workshops, our IMTs also offer a variety of one-on-one mentoring programs that can help you with no matter where you are at in your personal real estate journey. If you're interested in learning more about our training options, please reach out to us or any of our IMTs, any of our master trainers, and we can work out a plan for you. If you can't find an IMT location, you can always contact us or look up our website, realimpacttraining.com, and your information can be there, and our meetings are there in areas like that. So what you'll do is just click the locations button in the middle of the screen, and then all of our locations and all of our meetings will show up there. Look at our calendar, and you'll see our calendar of events that we have out there. One of our primary objectives each Sunday night is to provide you with an opportunity to ask questions about real estate investing. If you are on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, feel free to enter in the chat button. If you're in YouTube, you need to subscribe to the channel. It's just a click of the button, and then a chat window will pop up. And we are here to answer your questions. No need to wait until next week or Monday before you get your questions answered. We'll be there for you. So I am just absolutely ecstatic. Tonight we have a special guest that's going to actually be in Texas in 2 weeks. So in mid-August. So we have tonight Mr. Alan Cowgill. He is the owner of Kobe Properties, LLC, and president of Integrity Home Buyers Incorporated. Alan invests in single-family homes and small multifamily properties in and around Springfield, Ohio. Since 1995, Alan has done hundreds of real estate transactions. Alan uses private lenders to fund his real estate purchases. Alan looks for a win-win situation with the seller, the lender, and eventually the homeowner can all win. He's not a realtor, but a private investor. Alan has creative, innovative systems, tools, and personal training that puts him squarely on the cutting edge of real estate investing education. Alan has served as an elected official to the board of directors for the Clark County Property Management Association. He is also an author, a consultant, a coach, and a national speaker. He has been asked to speak on topics of investing for beginning investors, finding private lenders. His home study system, Private Lending Made Easy, shows new and seasoned real estate investors how to find private lenders for their own real estate business. In addition, Alan holds a BS degree in business management, appears in 3 real estate infomercials that are shown nationwide, featured in the business section of the Springfield News Sun News in an article of real estate investing. He's a published author, Walking with the Wise Real Estate Investor, adjunct professor for 5 years at the Clark State University. Once again, he's a published author, but not only for real estate, but for also corporate America. He has over a quarter-century experience in business management, acknowledged in the book Email Basics. He has brought 4 major national programs to our industry. Speaking engagements involve Yeovil, England, Dallas, Texas, Fort Collins, Colorado, Atlanta, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, Cashiers, North Carolina, Las Vegas, Nevada, and of course, Springfield, Ohio. Alan has spoke at over 45 real estate events in 2019. At his live events, students under Alan's guidance have raised over $500 million in just their 24 hours. Best of all, Alan is a father of 3 children. So, CJ, can you put Alan on with us? Okay, good deal. Thank you. So, I'm sorry about that, Alan. I thought, so with that, that's a great bio. That's incredible. We're excited to have you here. Alan's going to be here the week of the 15th, and every night he's going to be at a different location for a real impact. We're going to cover pretty much all of the northern half of Texas, from Wichita Falls over all the way to Longview and down to Waco and Denton and Arlington, that whole area through there. So we're excited to have you here. And then we're going to wrap that up that week on an all-day Saturday training that we're going to be holding in Hurst, Texas. So, Alan, welcome to our podcast tonight.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you being here.
Yep.
CJ, can you add everybody on here and we can get everybody rolling here? So there's Karen Maxwell.
Hey, Karen.
Impact Plano in our corporate sales. Right. There is Eric Short on the bottom left. He is Impact Grand Prairie. In the bottom middle is Tim Lockhart. He is Impact Wichita Falls and Denton. And on the bottom right is Doug and Renee Toon, and they're Impact Longview, Texas. So welcome on here, Alan.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yep.
So, Karen, you want to go ahead and kick this off? We've got several questions here.
Absolutely. Roger, I'm gonna go with you and let you kick us off by asking your couple questions that you have for Alan here. So go right ahead, sir.
All right. Well, Alan, just to get this thing started, how did you get started in this business?
Yeah, well, early on, I was climbing that corporate ladder in corporate America. And I was successful. I did acquisitions in Europe, moved some plants. There was 5 multi-million-dollar, multi-state programs that they put me in charge of. And in one of the programs, I was the only employee that got a bonus that year. But as I was climbing that corporate ladder, my personal life was living paycheck to paycheck. And I thought there's got to be a better way out there than what I'm doing. And so I got looking around for different things, and there wasn't anything that resonated. But one night, I couldn't sleep, and I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning and turned on the TV and started to channel surf, and I hit one of these real estate infomercials, and it got my attention, and I thought, maybe I can do this. And at 2 in the morning, I picked up the phone, and I ordered that home study system, and it changed my life. I became enthralled with real estate. That year, I bought my first 2 properties. The next year, I bought 5. And since that point in time, I've done hundreds of real estate deals. And so I left the corporate life and became a full-time real estate investor. I haven't looked back. I'll tell you that. It's been great.
Very good. So kind of tell us what your specialty is. How did you develop that? What is your specialty?
Well, what happened was, along the way, I was getting my funding from banks, and on 3 different occasions I got shut down. It wasn't anything that I had changed in my life. It is they had changed their internal rules. In the first one, the bank, they had the regulators came in and they took a look at the bank's books, and all of us creative real estate investors got stopped instantly. And so within 24 hours, we had to go figure out how to do other deals. And in another couple banks, I had 4 deals in those 2 banks, and they shut me off. And it wasn't anything in my life; it was their internal rules once again. And I thought there's got to be a better way. And I heard this thing about private money, and I heard about hard money, and I thought they were the same, but actually they're distinctly different. With a hard money lender, they set the rules just like a bank, and so I could have got shut down again and all that. But with private lenders, I got to figure out who I do business with and how much interest I was going to pay and who I was going to get into the deals. And so what I did was along the way is I created a system, how to attract, convert, and manage private money lenders, and also how to do it safely. so that we can be in compliance with the regulators and people like that. So that's what sets me apart from everybody else out there. Is that last part is especially on being in regulation with the SEC on some of the rules that they have there. Okay, I hired an SEC attorney to research every state in the United States and Canada, and you can imagine one state's expensive. I did them all, and it was very expensive. And when I got done with the project I had him on, he called me up and he said, "I want to thank you." And I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Well, I'm moving into my new house and you just paid for it." Now, you don't want to hear that from anybody, right? But it gives you an indication of the moral obligation and dedication I've got to real estate investors on being safe with private money. And so I'm known as one of the top guys out there on how to attract and convert people into private money lenders. And the systems I use are just killer. Just like you said, that I've got students, they have raised over $500 million in the first 24 hours using my system. And so it's just startling out there what I've had happen over the years. Yep. So
Wonderful.
yeah, Karen, you got something?
I do. I have a question from the chat. Portfolio Ideas. Love the name, by the way. Great name. Portfolio Ideas would like to know: is the event on August 20th helpful to learn strategies for raising money for my hard money lending business?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I have students that that become hard money lenders because of being able to get private lenders. In fact, another side of that is I spoke to 450 mortgage brokers out in Kansas City, and at one time, because they wanted to know how to get private money to fund the mortgages, right? The hard money folks. And so, yeah, it's a door opening for people with hard money lenders, no question about it.
That's right. That's right. We are looking forward to it.
Yep.
He says, "I'll see you there." So yes, we'll see you there. Okay, our next questions are coming from Eric. Eric, I believe you have a couple questions here for Alan.
I do. Thank you, Alan, for being here. You've kind of delved into my first question a little bit when you spoke about private lenders versus hard money lenders. Can you go into a little more detail of the difference between the two?
Yeah. What happens with a hard money lenders in a bank is they set the rules, and the difference between a bank and a hard money lender is they have some different rules amongst themselves and between themselves. And a hard money lender is called a hard money lender because they make more money, if you will, by doing a lot of padded fees and things like that. In fact, I encourage my students to become a hard money lender and have another stream of income out there. So with a private lender, though, I get to set the rules. And so that is a huge difference. I can talk to somebody, a private individual, somebody that's not a business like a hard money lender or a bank, and ask them if they want to earn a high rate of return. And many times, it's people that are having a low interest CD rate. You know, they're getting a double O nothing on a bank CD, and we come along and we can offer them, 5, 10, % interest out there and change people's lives. We can have someone that's getting a pulpy low rate of return on a bank CD come back and have multiple times when we borrow the money, and they make way more money. And the issue is that they don't know about us. And that's what I open the door on, is how do we find people out there that we can attract and convert into private money lenders. And it's a win-win. It's a rarity that the private lender will leave you over the years. So all because they're getting a high rate of return.
Yeah, and I imagine you build a rapport with them so that you can help them and help you at the same time.
Yeah, that's well said. The private lender loans you money based on the fact that they trust you, and so when they get the money back, they call you up and they say, "Hey, I didn't want my money back. I kept wanting to get that high rate of return. How do I get this money back to you so you can keep it working again?" So it's just
I got this pile of money sitting here doing nothing.
Yeah, why'd you send that back to me? I wanted to keep that high rate of return. Well, we sold the property, so you got your money back. So,
I see.
And the reason we do that, by the way, is that we don't want to have an unsecured loan out there. You know, we promised a private lender that their money is what? Secured by real estate.
Right.
Right. And so when we sell the property, then the private lender gets their money back. And then it's my job or my student's job to crank up, you know, the business to get more deals so that we can keep using that money. So, yeah, you're exactly right on that.
So,
Awesome.
you say you got out of the corporate world. How long have you been doing what you're doing now?
Well, yeah, I got a quarter century in corporate America. And back in 1997, July 7, 1997, I got my first property. And the way that came about was I didn't know they had groups like you folks back then. And I read that they were having a meeting downtown Springfield, Ohio, which is where I live, on real estate. And so I went to this meeting and I listened to the speaker. I didn't know I was going to buy a home study course that night, but I walked out with a home study course that night. And the group, the RIA group, had some really great people. And one of the guys took me under his arm and helped me through my first deal. And I got to tell you, when I had that first deal, it was a side-by-side double. Did the deal, and I remember walking out. He picked me up in his pretty Cadillac and went to this deal. And then we come walking out of the deal, and my knees were knocking because here I just had this property, and I was living in a rental house. You know, I was living in a rental, and here I bought this house. And by the time we got the car, he's talking about the next deal. and now I do that. You know, after I learned that, I do that. I started thinking about the next. Once you got one under your belt, then you go get another one. And so he helped get me launched, and it was a great friend for a long time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for that, Eric, and for Alan for answering those. And we're going to head on over to Tim Lockhart. Tim, go ahead with your question.
Okay. What kind of deals can you use private lenders for?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. You know, most of the time we think that we can just use it for real estate, but there's a myriad of different ways that you can use private money. And I found that out over the years. I mean, I thought it was just one way where I could buy and fix houses, but now about 35 to 40% of my student base is commercial folks doing these big deals. And also, you could actually buy your own home with private money. You could buy notes. You know, I talked about the 450 mortgage brokers that I talked about. I've done a number of events where people ask me to come in and teach on note buying and things like that. You could buy a business, you can buy a pizza shop, you know, wherever you want to put your money. You could become a hard money lender, like I said a little bit ago. Oddly enough, I've got a couple students that are buying credit card debt. You know, the credit card companies, if people don't pay, after a while, they will bundle these things up and then sell them so they can get some money and move on. And then the people that buy those, which could be my students, are going out and chasing the people that owe the money on the debt. So I got a couple of those. I thought that was very, very unique and interesting. Okay. So, but there's just a myriad of different ways that you can use that private money. So, you know, I like buying real estate, so that's what I do. But there's just a lot of other ways that my students out there have found that are really amazing on what they're doing. Yep.
Wonderful. All right. Alan, early in your career, how did you approach your first lender? Like for the first time you were ever discussing like, hey, loan me some money. How'd that work out for you?
Well, it was my mother. What happened was I was coming up through this real estate education, and I like I said before, I heard about hard money lenders and private lenders. I thought those were interchangeable terms, and they're distinctly different. After a while, I figured it out. A hard money lender sets the rules like a bank. But with a private lender, I could go set the rules. So my mom committed some money when my dad passed away. What most folks would do, she would put the money down on a bank certificate of deposit. And she would drive 45 minutes one way just to get a few pennies more on that bank CD. And she was so proud of herself that she could do that because she hadn't been taking care of the finances, okay? So I went to Mom and I sat down at her kitchen table and I said, look, I said, I got something that you might be interested in. I can pay you 3, 4, 5 times what you're getting on that bank CD. I'll pay you simple interest only, and I'll give you a mortgage and promissory note, hazard insurance, lender title insurance. And Mom jumped for joy and became my first private lender. And then I ran into another guy. His name's Ed, and I went to his house and sat down with him at his kitchen table. And he asked me a bunch of questions, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to tell you I couldn't answer all the questions, but I was new at it. And by the time I got done, he had agreed to loan me some money. And so I thought it was great. But what happened then was I languished for 4 years before I got my next private lender. And you would have thought that I would have embraced it, but I didn't see the power and the potential. And like many folks, I was going down to the corner bank and getting my money to fund my real estate deals. But then after I lived through getting shut down a couple of times, I'd had enough of that, and I wanted to take control of my business. And by having private lender, you have 100% control on how to do it. It is amazing the difference you can make in your business. You can go at any level. There was one point where I had so much money I couldn't spend it all. That's a nice problem to have. I had to hire a guy to go spend it for me.
Very nice problem to have. Eric says he'll spend it for you.
Yeah, that's what I do. I had to hire a guy so he'd go out and buy property. He bought 21 properties from mid-September to Christmas. And then he bought another 48 from Christmas to August. And we had so many that we needed rehab, we slowed it down right then. But yeah, so it was amazing. And he didn't have the education that you folks had when he came on board with me. He had only bought 2 personal residences. One was a side-by-side double, and him and his wife Julie lived on one side. And then when they could save up some money, they bought a home on a hill, and they still have that rental property. But then he was in corporate America for a quarter century, and just before he got his quarter century wristwatch or whatever it was, they had a layoff, and so he was out of a job. And I thought the guy was pretty sharp, and so I hired him. And he came in, and using my techniques, because he had none, using my techniques, he bought those 21 properties, and we got the same profit that I would have gotten if I'd have bought them, and bought all these properties and moved ahead. He's with me for years. Yeah. But that's
awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you in a minute. On how I got all that money, by the way.
Okay. I'm anxious to hear that. Tim, I believe you have another question for Alan.
Yes, kind of to go along with that last one. When did you start bringing private money into your business?
Yeah, I started in year 2. In 1995, I was Mom, and then I languished for a while on that. 1995 was where I started with real estate. 1997, was when I started with Mom, and she came in, and I started, loaning me money. And then, like I said, I languished for a few years, and then I really geared it up on private money, made a big difference. What happened was I was in corporate America, and I stayed in corporate America and didn't share that I was doing real estate. I did it on the side, and I was high enough in corporate America to where I thought that if I let people know what I was doing, they might see it as a negative, not a positive. Okay. And so, because I was one level away from the top, and so 2,000 person plant. And so I didn't tell anybody about it. I just went out and did my thing after hours. And along the way, and they had a layoff, and they offered one of those packages where they could give you money for a while. Okay. And it was the best package that they had ever offered. And I thought, this is my time. I'd honed my skills on real estate, and I was pretty good at it. And I jumped out there and I quit my job. And I wrongly thought that the banks would continue to loan me money, but they didn't. And so here I quit my job, and then I didn't have any way to fund my deals, right? And so then I looked back about Mom and about Ed, the 2 lenders that I had, and I realized that the answer to my question was to embrace this private lender concept. And so what I did was I called a meeting, of potential private lenders. And I spent hours and hours and hours of creating a PowerPoint presentation. In fact, looking back, I think I had roughly 100 hours in this. I didn't have anything else to do because I couldn't get money. And so I had time to do this PowerPoint presentation. And so I put that together, and I got in front of folks, and it was a small group, about 18 folks. I didn't know if I was going to be in an echo chamber all along, if there's going to be 50 folks in the room. There's 18 that showed up, which is about typical for what I do. And I got in front of them, and I told them about my real estate business. I told them about my dreams and aspirations. I showed them the PowerPoint slides that I put together, and then I just flat out asked them to loan me money, and it worked. And I did it again the next month, and I had 12 people show up, and I did it all over again, and it worked again. And what happened was, a couple months later, I took a pad and a pen, and I added it up, and I had $1 million to go buy property.
Wow.
I didn't need to ever have a bank again. You know, leaving that job was one of the best days of my life. It changed my life, you know, and enabled me. I thought I could keep getting bank loans, and all these banks, I've been with them for years. And since I had no job, they wouldn't loan me the money. So, you know, and enabled. What do you say?
There, well, speaking of that, sort of, Portfolio Loans has another question, and this is a really good one. So I want to jump right into this one.
Okay.
Alan, you have like 77 different products. Which one would you recommend for an introvert who's striking out raising funds for their warm market?
Oh, great. Yeah. The best system that I've got for that is my millionaire systems. What I did was I created all these systems like you talked about, and I put together a package that is everything you need to go get private money lenders. And if you're an introvert, it works great. If you're an extrovert, it works great. It is the one that is changing people's lives. I mean, that's the way the folks got all that money in 24 hours out there. It's the way that I got all those properties out there because I had the private money to back it up. I had so much money I couldn't spend it all. And so it is the Millionaire Home Study System is the one that you want to write down right now. It's one you want to get your hands on, and you know, and you need to show up at the event and go from there. Yep.
Awesome. Great. Okay. So Alan, can you explain whenever you say that they're secure, that they're how is their loan secure? When they loan you the money, how do you secure it?
That's a great thing, because I need to take you down a couple paths on this. Okay. First off, and everybody needs to write this down. Everybody needs to write this down. Never, ever, ever tell a private lender that the money is secure. Never tell them it's secure. 80% of your lenders will ask, is my money secure? Well, real estate can be risky. Now, us folks that are trained on it, we don't think it's that risky, okay? But the powers to be, being the SEC, they don't want us to potentially mislead a lender. Everybody got it? So you can't say that the money is secure. You can't say that the money is guaranteed. You can't say that the money is low risk. Everybody got it? You write those three things down. All right? So we can't say that. So here's what I say if someone says, is my money secure? And listen to this, because this way you need to answer the question. We all know that real estate is risky, so I can't promise you that your money is secure. But I do the same thing that a bank does, where I give you a mortgage, a promissory note, hazard insurance lender, title insurance, and a disclosure, those 5 things. And I'll give you the same documents that a bank does to make sure that their money is secure. But I can't promise you that your money's secure because I can't predict the future. Everybody got it?
Got it.
Yeah.
And you're going to be going over that more at the meeting, right?
Yeah, on the Saturday, I have time to get into this kind of stuff. Okay, so on the money being secured out there, another path that I would take you down. You know, how do we secure the money? Well, we give them a mortgage, a promissory note, hazard insurance, lenders, title insurance. I highly encourage my students not to do loans with people to where they just hand you the check and the money's not secured. I had a lady come into my office, hand me a $110,000 check. Okay, and what I did was I give it back to her and tell her that as soon as I got a deal, she could send that money into closing. Everybody got that? Because we want to make sure that the money is secured by real estate. All right. And so that's the way I set it up. Now, you can do it other ways. I mean, I told you about the people that are doing the debt, the credit card debt. You know, they can't secure that. So, you know, so there's different strokes for different folks out there. But the people I'm teaching are the ones that I want to be safe and be able to sleep at night and do things the right way. And, you know, the bank doesn't give you the money early before you sign all the documents at the closing, right?
Right.
Same with us. It's the same with us. And so you need to treat it that way. But you will have, if you follow my training, you will have people that come to you and hand you a check because they just want to get started on this. They are anxious to get out of this double O nothing on a bank CD. And here you come along and you're offering them 3, 4, 5, 7, 8% interest, and they can't wait because it's multiples of what they're getting on a bank CD. So very important that you have a business that has a structure on there. One of the things I'm going to show everybody at the event on Saturday is I created what I call the path to wealth. And what I'm going to do is give that to everybody. It's a one-page document. I'll show it to them so they can take a picture of it. And what I did was I realized that the Achilles heel for many people was what are the steps that you take to get a private lender and get them to the closing table. So what this does is it takes from meeting a potential private lender and take them all the way down, step by step, down to the closing table. And within that, there's some timing involved on what I want them to do after they talk to somebody and how soon they want to get back with them and what they say to them. I give everybody in that what I call the magic words on what to say. I give them exactly what to say, when to say it, and all the way down to the closing table. I don't know of anything else like that in the industry. And everybody that comes to the Saturday events will get it. Okay, Karen?
Wonderful. Great. I was actually putting the next, we have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
So we just need some clarification. I just sent that over. Okay. They're wanting to understand, so you're putting your private lender's info on the documents, but that seems like kind of a hazard if they're going to use it for a hard money lender. So maybe we'll get to that on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's kind of a more in-depth question.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But you're going to teach us how to do it the right way and not get in trouble.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I try to do. It's so important that nobody gets hurt, you know,
That's right.
And everybody wins, right?
That's right. Everybody wins. Okay. Our next questions are going to be from Doug. Doug, I believe you have a couple questions for Alan.
Yeah. So my first private money lender was my mother also. And I paid her simple interest, one-time payment, 10%. She was tickled. But are there other ways to structure this? And what do you recommend as far as structuring a private money deal?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Doug. Yeah, when I started out, I did the same thing you did with Mom. I paid her simple interest only. And what that means, just so and somebody out there might not know, is if she loaned me $100,000 and I'm paying simple interest, when I sell that house, I still have to pay her the $100,000 back. Okay, it's not amortizing at this point. Well, what happened was I was paying the interest rates were up. I was paying a high rate of interest, and at those years it was at 15%, and that seems gigantic, but that's what it was in the industry. And so what happened was over time things shifted and the interest rate went back down. Well, I was up here at 15%. I got feedback from my private lenders that 15% was too good to be true, right? So they didn't think I could do what I had been doing for a couple of years or whatever. And so what happened was I had to lower my interest rate to keep them happy. Gotta love that. So I lowered it to 10 and 12%. I did 10% if they would do monthly payments. I did 12% if they would let the money accrue and they would get paid when I get paid. And I figured nobody would do that one. Actually, what I experienced was a 50-50 split. 50% would do monthly payments and the other 50% would let the money accrue and they got paid when I got paid. And so as things changed along the way and interest went down, I came up with three ways. One way is what you and I are talking about is simple interest only. Let's say the interest on that is 6%. All right. Well, then I realized along the way on this where I'm not paying them monthly, this is going up over time. So at some point, I need to have this thing either be sold or go back down, right? So, but on that, I would pay between 7 and 8%. So it's a double-edged sword on the on where the money is going up. Okay, they get paid when I get paid, and so it's great because we don't have to make monthly payments on it. But at some point, when you get out there in month 18 or 24, you might be upside down at some point, right? Or you will be if you go too long. So what you want to do then is come back and amortize the loan and have it start back down or sell the property. Okay, so that's a second way. The third way, which is the one I wish I would have done the most, is to amortize the loan, just like a bank loan. Let this thing pay down. That'd be around 4 or 5%, okay? And let this thing go down over time, all right? And that's the one I love the most. I just wish I would have done more of those over the years, okay? So to answer your question, Doug, that's the 3 options that I give my private lenders because I do multiple types of deals. Now, if you're only doing buy, fix, sell, then you want to let the money accrue, yes? You don't want to have any monthly payments, yes? Or if you're going to do a 20, 40 unit apartment complex or storage units, you want that thing to amortize and go down, right? And then this went on the simple interest, which is what you did with your mom and I did with my mom, is that's a nice, easy way to work with some people. And over time, you know, you're gonna have to pay them back when you sell the property, but you can keep up with things by just doing the interest only every month.
Right.
You like these 3 ways?
Yeah.
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 So, do you ever have anybody that once they've been paid all back, do they reinvest?
Oh, virtually always. Virtually always. Yeah, because number one, Doug, is they trust you, right? Private lender loans you money based on the fact that they trust you. That's the bottom line. They trust you, and so the folks out there loan the money. And like I said before, when you pay them back because you sell the property, they're calling you up, want you to keep the money. And what I teach my students is don't keep the money in the gap between when you sell and when you buy, because then it's unsecured, right? And so what I tell my lenders is that you got the money back. I'm going to crank up my buying machine and I'll get your money working again as quick as I can. Okay. So, yeah. Now, another piece of this is I have found that lenders, when they have a life change, what's a life change? Kids going to college and they need money for the kid, okay? Or the kids want a down payment on the house because they're living in the basement with the parents now, and the parents are glad to help them get into a house, okay? And so when that happens and they need a chunk of money, that's when they will come back and ask for the money to go back. But I'll tell you what, if you've got 40 lenders, it will be maybe one lender in 2 years that will ask for the money back. So it's not a big turnaround and stuff like that. And if they do ask for the money back, what are you going to do? You're going to pick up the phone and ask the next lender if they want to loan money. Or ask somebody that is already a lender, okay, if they want to invest some more money. And that's what they do. What a lender will do is they will start you out with a little amount. And so they will, what you want to do is see if there's more money back there. And so I've got some words that I use that encourage them to loan me money. And I had a student that she used my technique to where she was asking somebody for money, and the person said, "I'll loan you $100,000." And so my student used my technique again, and to double the money. And the other person, the lender, said, "Yeah, I'll give you $200,000." And within 40 seconds, she had that lender up to $900,000, all from $100,000. All by using this technique, okay, which I'm going to share with everybody at all the meetings, okay. So yeah, so it's amazing how you can get your money to increase just like that, just by using the right way.
Awesome. We're looking forward to that.
Yep.
Wow. Well, you answered my third question, but I've got a fourth one.
Okay.
How do you answer the Bernie Madoff question?
Oh, the Bernie Madoff question. You know, with Bernie out there, you know, he's at the time the hated man and most hated man in America. What he did. What I do is I say we don't do what Bernie did. What Bernie did was he did not secure the money. It was on stocks and things like that. Money was not secured. We are to a place to where we can secure the money just like a bank loan. And so what we do is dramatically different from what Bernie did. And that's the answer to the question. Yeah, good question. Yeah, you're exactly
Thanks.
right. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Renee has some final questions for you.
Okay.
So my first question is, in all the years that you've done this, have you ever had a lender that you've been working with that just quit working with you?
Typically what happens is that if they are with me, they tend to stay with me. If they have a life change, then they got to go take care of that. And like I explained before, that might be one out of 40 lenders. That might be one over those years. In another part of that is if a lender is annoying me, I might want to get rid of it, and I have that power, right? How do I get rid of a lender? Is I bring in another lender, pay off the first lender, and then when that first lender wants to get back in, I say, well, I'm good, and I'm good for the rest of that person's life. Okay, so you know it's a nice thing to be in control of that, to where you don't have to put up with stuff, I guess. Now that's rare. I mean, we're talking very, very rare because most of my lenders are gold. They are gold. But every now and then you could get somebody that comes in that might not might want to tell you how to run your business. And I already know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right? Can you imagine that? So, so you just pay them back and move on. Life goes on. Yeah.
So that kind of leads me to the next question, which is, how do you decide who you want to look for in a private lender? What's your criteria?
Somebody's got money. Yeah, let's start with there. Right?
Well, yeah,
Mostly.
obviously.
What I do is I just make the offer. The other thing I should tell you is I don't pressure anybody. I don't pressure people to loan me money. Okay, mm-hmm. I just present what I'm doing and let them make up their mind. All right. So that's my first rule is I don't pressure the lender. Okay. And so I just have them. I just tell them what I'm going to do and see if they want to play. And I had a guy that I talked to, and he said he didn't want to loan money, but a year and a half later he came back and decided I was a better deal and started loaning me money. So that can happen. Okay. But one of the things I teach my students is their posture. How do they handle the private lender? Okay. And so we're professional. We don't pressure anybody. We're not overbearing or anything like that. We just tell them what we do and let the chips fall where they may. And many, many, many times, because of the pathetic amount of CD money out there, that the interest rate, that they want to come to us. Now, the other piece of this that I need to share with you before we get off this is how I got so much money I couldn't spend it all. And what happened was when I tapped into 401k money, and you want to write this down, where somebody has quit, retired, or gotten laid off. Quit, retired, or gotten laid off. They can roll that money over into a self-directed IRA. Self-directed IRA. And so in doing that, that money is sitting there for us to use, okay? And that is the pot of gold. That is what I call the pot of gold. Now, I didn't recognize that when I first got started. When I got started with Mom and with Ed and all that, I didn't recognize the vast amount of money out there on 401ks when people have quit, retired, or gotten laid off. One of the things that we're getting ready to walk into right now, okay, is on the economy is so we're in a recession. Well, this 401k money, if people are getting laid off, that money opens up for us, yes, and we can use that money, and that is it's gold now. Wait until things change a little bit. Okay, I've been through a recession before, and so it's a gold mine out there. And it's going to help. But even without this coming, it's a gold mine. I got so much money I couldn't spend it all. I had to hire that guy to come and spend my money. So it's a good problem to have, right?
That's right.
What you need to know, what you need to learn, is one is how to talk to the lenders, how to attract and convert them. 2 of the 4 things I talked about right off the bat today: attract, convert, manage, and then do it safely. And so on attracting and converting, once you get that down and figure out how to put the money into an IRA, one of the things that really shocks me is when I talk to real estate investors or newbies out there, new real estate investors, they don't know the four documents that you use with an IRA. And I'm going to teach that on Saturday. Okay. Yeah, I'll teach that too. Exactly the stuff too. It was really eye-opening to me because I thought everybody knew, and they don't. And so I walk people right through exactly the 4 documents that you need for doing an IRA, and it gives people a foothold on how to go out and use IRA money. So, it's a pot of gold out there. But the key is this. The key is tapping into 401ks when they have quit, retired, or gotten laid off, rolling into the IRA, which balloons the IRA, and then we can use that money.
Mm-hmm. Alan, is there a time limit on that? Because I know a lot of people that got laid off, during COVID.
Uh-huh.
Is there a time limit that they can roll that over into a self-directed?
Well, if they quit, retired, or gotten laid off, a lot of times the company wants them to keep the money in the 401k, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And the person can quit. But what happens is there is a timing, Karen, when you start to move the money. Okay, you got to have it moved into an IRA, self-directed IRA, and there's a window on that. I hate to say what I think it is, but I can't. I think it's 60 days, but different IRA companies might be different. But maybe this is government control. I don't know. But they roll the money over within that window. Okay, and so it protects it, so it keeps it within the IRA, and it's not being used someplace else.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you for that. Okay, Roger, I believe that is it for our questions tonight. We are getting pretty close to running out of time.
All right.
But
Well,
we're going to have Alan back next Sunday at 7 p.m.
Wow, that's great. We're going to do this more.
But I've got one more question for you, Alan.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Now, you're going to be with us on the week of the 15th. And CJ, if you can throw up there where he's going to be each night. My question to you, Alan, is what are you going to present on the nightly meetings, and what's going to happen on the Saturday meeting? So Monday night, we're going to be in Arlington. Tuesday night, we're going to be in Wichita Falls. Wednesday night, we're going to be in Waco. Thursday night, we're going to be in Longview. And Friday night, we're going to be in Denton. And then Saturday, all day long, you're going to be doing your full day presentation.
Yep.
So,
well, I'm told minute for minute, I deliver as much or more training than anybody out there. Let's start off with that. And what I do on these evening meetings is I cover a lot of territory, and I actually lay out the foundation on why they should have private money, what it's about, and there's some surprising things out there that I share with toward the end on that, which really is eye-opening for folks. They got to be there for that. So in the evening meetings, for 90 minutes, I pump out as much training, and I love to answer questions. I want to get everybody's questions answered. And then what happens on the Saturday is I have some more time to where I can drill down deeper. I can give them the words that I say to get money, and share some dynamite information out there that can take them to the next level out there. And one of the biggest keys on Saturday is the rule book, how to keep you and the lender safe. And there's nobody else on planet Earth doing what I'm doing on that session. And so like I said before, I hired an SEC attorney. I've got the rules for your state. And then I also have the federal. I'm not an attorney. I don't give legal advice, but I can train. And so what I'll do on Saturday is I'll not only dig deeper on how to attract, convert, and manage private lenders, but I will also give you the rules, which I don't have time to do on the evening meetings. And that's the big thing that you need to know is I don't have time to teach the rules on the evening meeting, but I always teach it on the Saturday. Okay. So that's what I'm covering.
Oh, very good. So anybody on this call, anybody listening in, you can go into the website at realimpactevents.com. Now you're going to see the boxes there that have the individual nightly meetings there, and then you can register right below that. You can register for the Saturday event, and it's going to ask you what location that you're coming from. So click on there, the closest location to you or the location that you're involved in. CJ, on the bottom right, it's collapsed, but it's the little red bar on the bottom right there. There you go. So that's how you're going to register on there. You're going to submit that, and we're going to have you there all day Saturday. Lunch is included. It's $45. What a deal. It's going to be in Hurst, Texas. And then once again, we're going to be, just to throw this out there, we're going to be in Arlington, Texas on Monday night, the 15th. Tuesday night, the 16th, we're going to be in Wichita Falls. Wednesday night, the 17th, we're going to be in Waco. Thursday night, the 18th, we're going to be in Longview. Friday night, the 19th, we're going to be in Denton. And then, of course, Saturday, all day, it's going to be at the Hearst Convention Center. We start that at 9 in the morning. So you need to get there. There's going to be some incredible vendors there that we're going to have, some sponsors that are going to provide you with some secondary information to back up what you need, servicing companies and RMLOs and other people that will help you in your business. They'll have display tables out front that you can visit at lunch or in the break. And then other than that, CJ, if you can throw all of us back on full screen so we can kind of see each other. And but Alan, I can't tell you how excited I am. I just did a subject 2 class in Oklahoma City last month. And I sent out a questionnaire. What is the number one thing that you want to learn about real estate investing? Overwhelmingly, it was private money. Nothing else really came in close. It was private money. And so this is a topic that is the number one topic that I'm asked as being a realtor and a real estate investor with my clients is, how do I find the money? And, Dennis, Dennis is our guy. He is what we train. And, he always says money is the easiest part of this business, but you got to figure it out. Now you're coming in and giving them light years ahead of information.
Yep.
And
it took me years to learn that stuff. I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you what, another thing here, while you were talking, Roger, is on these nightly meetings and on the Saturday, it's not an either or. You need both. You need both. You need to get the foundation on the evening meetings, and then let me take you up to the level that we can take you up to on the Saturday. I'll give you everything I can. Okay. So you need to get to both meetings.
Yeah. And all the evening meetings, Monday through Friday, are free. So you need to be there. We have a location that's going to be convenient for you, for everybody on this call. If you're in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, we've got a location close to you. So pick a location, come to it, introduce yourself to us, see Alan live, and we're gonna rock this world in our area with people that have money to buy this. We know what's happening. We know what's going to happen. We know that there's going to be lots of properties out there. And the people that Alan, you and I have been in this long enough, we dealt with the people in the subprime days.
Yep.
And we have people all the time saying, wow, if I knew what I knew today in subprime, I'd be a millionaire.
Yep.
And you're going to know what you need to know so you can become very, very successful in this business and making this happen.
Yep.
So,
you got that right.
So thank you so much. Does anybody else have any questions while we're on here? Anything?
I just wanted to say, I can't, we are so excited to have Alan here all day that Saturday the 20th for $45. Think about your ROI on that. And for people that have to drive, I don't want to drive a couple of hours. I have driven 2.5 hours so many times for so many of our meetings, and they never disappoint. So if you're thinking about it, if I'm going to say this, if you need private money, if you want to know how you can really buy a property with no money down, you're going to use a private lender.
That's it. Hey, Karen, I was speaking in DC, and for the nightly meeting, and I had a lady drive 4 hours to get to that meeting. So, 2 hours, just get to the meeting, get the education. If you don't get the education, when are you ever going to get the education? I'm coming to town. I'll take care of you. You need to show up.
Very good. So we're excited.
Exactly.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up tonight. We always try to keep this call under an hour. So thank you all for being on here tonight. Alan, looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yep.
Lots more information coming next week. He's got a gigantic, you're the big giant head. Okay. You're just got all that information right there.
Yeah.
So in that kind of the line drawing with you're holding that money. So y'all need to be there. Y'all need to look and register and make this happen for you, because if you don't, you'll always be coming back saying, what if? Renee?
Yeah, just in case anybody was confused, what he means by next week is next Sunday night. You need to be on this call again, because Alan's going to be back and answering some incredible questions that you're probably going to have. So just don't miss next Sunday with us here at Real Impact TV.
Right. And then we start on the 15th. Renee, thank you so much for clarifying that, because I get ahead of myself sometimes. But I can't tell you how excited I am that we have the Alan Cowgill coming to town and making this thing happen. So this is fun, exciting. Everybody needs to be there. So thank you all. We appreciate it. CJ, thank you behind the scenes for putting this together. And then other than that, good night all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night.